Check, 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 check. How's that?
You're
I did.
good.
No, I'm talking stream and not
Hey,
better. I think I hear you now, Toby.
Oh, are we live?
I think Topulus was right. I had it. We're live now. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Hey,
now I don't have a.
you never said we were live.
He said, "Let's do it, gang," but he did not give
That's
Chris.
okay.
Normally, you do a weird sound first.
Hamster is known to shout "Let's go, baby" at random times. Like that's not indicating that the stream is begun.
Actually, it's normally at 5 p.m.
Okay, and we're on like daylight savings time, so
Right.
It's 5 p.m. sometimes. Am I right?
It's 5 p.m.
Yeah.
somewhere.
he's still running on Minnesota time. I don't know if Minnesota's 1 hour or 2 hours.
It's 1 hour.
It's 1
Well,
hour.
everyone else is a bit quiet. Everybody's saying, which
I just turned everybody up.
nice.
Like OBS weird sometimes where like the levels are reading red and then people say that I'm quiet in the chat and it scares me. Cause
I don't know what you're talking about. I have never had a problem with OBS before.
Okay, well thanks for your help, chat. Glad we got through that together. Welcome to the stream. We are in fact live. If you're wondering about the stream title, I think Mace has the answer. What are you working on today, Mace?
Okay, so I've already started priming it, so it's not in its prime, so to speak, but it is a monkey mask. And a little backstory. I have an online store called Monkey's Paws, and I'm going to make people wear it when they take photos of my clothes because I don't want people to be individuals. I want them all to be monkeys.
Right.
And really assert my dominance as the only human being.
Over
Kind
monkeys?
of like Planet of the Apes, but
Planet of the Mace.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
But I'm working on a monkey mask.
And you're in the office today.
I am. Yes, I am. That is why I showered.
Good reason. I have to say, I'm vaccinated now, so I've been back in the office this week, and I too am showering more than I was previously.
I'll drink.
Yeah, I'll drink. Yeah, let's just say I'm not drinking Monster at 6 p.m. tonight. Probably for the best.
Yeah, definitely.
We got Duncan in the house. Duncan is working on his sculpture there. Working that clay, that monster clay.
My cat has got the zoomies apparently. As soon as the stream started, she started running back and forth, and I heard her like yowl from the other room.
Oh.
She ran in there. She did like that like thing as she like clung to the bed.
Oh.
So she's excited about something.
Probably the stream. What are you working on, Chris?
So I've kind of caught up on all the minis that we need for the game for a while, so I'm just kind of free painting the stuff that seems the most interesting at the moment as I wait for like Dungeon Delver or as I wait for like the Bones 5 stuff to get here. So I'm doing one of my Eldritch Foundry minis. I'm doing Vaporwave, which I think some of you are familiar with. It's my Water Genasi monk who has a Vaporwave color scheme is the plan. Like blue skin and the rest of the outfit's going to be like pinks and other like neon highlights. Probably pink and orange, maybe?
That sounds sweet.
Yeah, so I'm pretty excited about that.
Oh wait, we never actually finished what Duncan's working on.
What?
Yeah, what's Duncan doing?
Oh, Toby's back. Toby, are you altering
Yeah.
Duncan's project there?
Yeah, I'm reviewing it. And I'll take over, I guess.
Sure. Duncan's shift is done, and now it's Toby.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Is he done? He seems to want to come back up.
Oh. He's like, are you defiling my artistic work?
Yeah. I had to get the water sprayer because I have a new foster.
Oh,
and
yeah.
She keeps walking all over the table, and I was sculpting at home before for KS8.
Yeah.
But then I got cat hair everywhere, and she wouldn't stop being on the table, so I had to move to the office.
Oh.
And To clarify, also the piece that you're sculpting is not KSA.
Yeah, this is not KSA.
Yeah, this is a specifically Duncan piece. He's starting his own mini company.
Yeah.
Right. You are
Duncan Ford.
you are doing some sculpting for KS8 though in the office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
Some
I
of that
just-
is your work, but you're just doing this for fun and for practice, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, sorry, guys.
Yeah, because
It's okay. Just don't do it again.
The stream master has spoken. Oh, there's Sally.
Yep, Sally is probably gonna be running back and forth several times while this is going on.
Love it. So Toby, do you have 3 cats in your place now then?
I have 4 right now.
Oh my
Nice.
god. Wow.
I have Zuli, I have Dunk, Chunk, and then the foster is Chiclet.
Oh. Wait, which one's the first one you said?
Zuli, it's a tortie.
Oh,
But
okay.
she's old. She's
Aw.
11, and she's epileptic.
Yeah, okay.
So it's a
Well, she stopped having a seizure, so that's good. But
Oh, very good. There was a cat
Yeah.
butt. Yes, Penguin. There was indeed a cat butt. That is the content we provide here on Hamster's Hobby Hang.
I can
speaking of
bring more
hamsters,
cat butts if that's what you want.
they get them for free here.
You want to provide?
Cat butts are us.
I would not buy from there.
If you're looking for a cat butt, you would.
Yeah, and I'm not, so I'll just get them free from Toby.
Look at this premium cat butt we got here.
I
Are you in
won't.
the market for a cat butt? Let's see.
Anyway, Hamster, what are you working on? More cat butts?
Is that where Nate gets his whiskers? Yes. He doesn't get them from the cat face. He gets them from the cat butts. Little known fact, butt whiskers are a thing. Anyway, I am finishing up some of these Trader Guard. I've put these aside for a while. I've done all the oils on them. So basically I kind of just want to brighten up some highlights and call them done. But I got a big batch here. But I was experimenting, since you last saw these guys, I was experimenting with certain, using the same colors for the oil washes, but using different levels of dilution and stuff. And so it was fun to figure that out. So all these are slightly different. Some have some thicker washes, some really, really thin. Some I had to go back again and add more. Some maybe were too thick, so I may have to do extra work on the highlighting. But it was a fun experiment because I really do want to try implementing oils more because I've been watching a lot of James Wapple, and he does all of his miniatures completely in oils. And he gets great results. Topulus sent me a video. I forget the painter's name, but he has a great YouTube video, just a general overview of painting in oils. And they're full on, not just washes. They're full on painting entire miniatures in oils. So one day, maybe I will get there. I did my first day out and about this week. Really just kind of just wandering, being outside. I walked into an art store, and of course that's a death sentence because I spent $100, on some oil paints and stuff. So I'm excited to try those.
Nice. Also, as a side note, a cat butt whisker would not be called a whisker at that point, and it would have a different name.
A dingleberry?
No, and I'm not going to clarify because I think that you could probably assume.
Another side note. Cat Butt Whisker is a great name for a punk band.
Hey, there you go. Hi,
Correct.
Finley. How you doing? Poor Mittens was born without a butt, but for less than a price of a cup of coffee a day, you can provide a cat like Mittens with a brand new butt. Exactly, Vertex.
And he plays the Arms of an Angel while you.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Oh, man.
I'm Sarah McLaughlin. I'm here to provide cat butts.
Right. Never just walk into an art store. It will always demand a good chunk of your wallet. Yes, yes. And they said, hey, do you have a loyalty card? And normally I don't do it. But I was like, no. And they offered it to me. And I just canceled my Amazon Prime or whatever because I'm just trying to budget and, screw Amazon. And so I was like, all right, I'll take your card.
Right. Hamster on Twitch. They're owned by Amazon.
Oh, right. I take that back. I love Amazon. Amazon is the best. Yeah, Amazon's great.
We're moving all of our streams over to Mixer.
Right, yeah. We'll be the only one on Mixer. On Mixer's grave.
Yeah, we're actually gonna move over to Facebook Live.
Wait, can you imagine? I was talking to a guy today. He said he was having problems with his phone, like opening apps. He said he randomly one day just looked over and he was live on Facebook for no reason. Can you imagine?
The entire Facebook streaming like market. Like back when I saw it on Facebook, I would constantly see people like that I was friends with like going live. I see them sitting on the couch like watching TV, and I'm like, "Are you meaning to stream this? Are you
Right.
expecting me to just, like sit there and watch you laugh at a show?"
Well, I don't know if you've seen what's been going on this guy Ludwig, but he's been streaming for
Oh,
like
yeah.
days and days of he's sleeping, and it's just people like paying to play YouTube videos while he's sleeping and stuff.
Yeah, so you know like the gist behind that stream, right?
Not really. I've been trying to figure it out.
Basically, every time somebody subs to him while the stream's going, it extends the amount of time. That
Oh,
he's streaming.
right. There's like the timer that people can increase.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's the thing is the more subs he gets, the longer that stream goes. Although I think it's like about to wrap up. Like he's finally at like the end of it.
Right, but it's been like a week or more. It's been like
It's been,
days
like,
and days.
I think.
It's so.
What do you mean it's about to wrap up? You just stop getting subscribers, or
I think like it's either slowed down enough or he has been like, okay, we're not going past this point.
Right.
But I'm hearing that like it's about to be done.
I mean, one way or another, it's been like tens of thousands of subs, so that's kind of wild.
Yeah.
That's a good marketing scheme.
He could probably retire on that stream alone. If I'm being honest.
Right.
It's unreal how successful it's been.
So next Kickstarter, we'll be doing that, huh, Chris?
Yeah,
did that
instead of a live stream every day, we are going to be live streaming 24/7 for the duration of Kickstarter.
Great. Don't quote us on that.
Actually, stretch goals aren't going to be tied to the amount of to the amount of money that we get on Kickstarter. It's tied to the amount of subs we get. So the more subs that we get on Twitch, the more pieces you unlock for KS8.
There you go.
Somebody clip this and send it to Jay without any context.
Yeah. He's like, oh no, God,
So
no.
that I can start looking for a new job.
Yeah, right. So, Mace, I'm curious. The mask came painted. How are you altering it? What are you doing to it?
I'm putting brand colors on it.
Oh.
I'm thinking a little bit like, I don't know how to say this politely. Like kind of like drag makeup, sort of like just really elaborate face paint.
Oh, okay.
The brand I have is teal and red, red being the predominant color and then teal being the background color. And I feel like if a lot of the clothes are red, then the face should be teal.
Sure.
And then I also have hair chalk, so we're going to make his hair a little bit more colorful too.
Oh, he's going to be a fancy monkey.
Yeah, he's kind of at the top of the monkey chain.
That's awesome. Can I spend channel points to unlock new pieces? I feel like we'd have an entire Kickstarter's worth of new pieces if we did that.
Yeah, the problem is that we've already got too many.
Right.
More than anything, I don't think we're going to be at a loss for pieces.
We never are. We're always cutting pieces.
Yeah. Now we'll need to think of some. When we get to the Kickstarter, I'm gonna need to think of some cool event streams we can do.
Ooh, can I help?
We did a lot more of what we can do with this channel since Wildlands, and so I think we can do more cool stuff.
That's a no. Said, can I help? And then you were like, oh, I'm going to talk over you because I don't want to work with you.
See, I didn't hear you because I was talking.
No, I get it. I get the vibes. I know how it goes. I don't want to work with me either, but stuck in my apartment with me.
You've been your only coworker for a while.
And honestly, it was great for a long time, but then when we fight over what food we're getting for dinner,
Right.
it sucks.
Right.
Some of the most relatable things you've ever said.
Oh. Okay. Well,
Let's see.
Finley says I might be able to fund the Kickstarter via channel points. I wouldn't doubt that.
Just be aware with a big audience, if they're set too low, they can disrupt streams a bit too much. Yeah, likely what I'll do is something similar to what we did in the anniversary game, where there's a set amount of a certain thing you can put in, and I will monitor it in that fashion, like how we limited the inspiration and luck points, and then we reopened it when we needed it and all that. Especially because the really nice thing about doing the really nice thing about doing the Kickstarter streams is that we will actually have like more people there as well, so it'll be easier to manage doing complicated stream stuff. Because I can just have somebody dedicated to doing the monitoring the channel points and stuff, instead of that being a job that struggled with a bunch of other ones. I'll be able to fund the Kickstarter channel points. If we could convert the channel points into like a cryptocurrency or something,
get the NFTs of our website sets.
Right. Oh, we got Chunk in the house. He's also reviewing Duncan's work.
Do you want an NFT of Dwarvenite?
Dude, Doomcoin. Doomcoin.
We should give Finley the NFT of the Oblivion Nexus. Should be his reward for thinking of it.
Man, monkeys shed like crazy.
Monkey masks shed like crazy?
No, just regular monkeys.
Oh, sure.
Real head.
Came from actual monkey.
Huh?
Did you just say that? I don't know what you just said.
I said monkeys shed like crazy.
Okay.
Which is a good song name for the band Cat Butt.
Wildlands
Yeah.
Dude, I love cat butt.
Wildlands is the first Dwarven Forge I'm getting. I have no idea if my account could justify having enough map pieces for the standard dungeon, but terrain can be used anytime. Well, here's the nice thing. You don't have to build like you don't have to build like a massive table out for terrain to be useful. You can go room by room and just do like a simple like 12 by 12 inches, not feet. Just simple like 1 foot by 1 foot build pretty easily. You can just get like a tray and a couple pieces and just move them around for each encounter or whatever. Like you don't need a lot of money to make it workable. All that having a lot of this stuff does is just increases the possibilities that you can do. But like, especially with Wildlands, like with how big those pieces are, with how much elevation you get off of them, you really don't need that many of the pieces to just make like a simple battlefield that's really effective. Of course, a lot of people want to make these, giant mountains and huge forests and stuff, and you're gonna need a lot of pieces for that. But we're trying to start to build stuff that works on a budget.
Yeah. You also don't need to build like the entire like area you're in. Like you can just build like the highlights of like, if you're like I don't know, like you don't need to build out the room, I guess. It's a big room.
We had this submission thing earlier on the Discord where people would submit 12 by 12 builds as well, and they were very creative, and it's some of the best builds I've seen, honestly, from fans. So
that's still going. That's a monthly contest. It's not always 12 by 12s, but it's usually smaller builds. Every month they vote on like a theme for the challenge, and you can do some really cool stuff with just a little bit. Scatter pieces also really help to quickly give an idea to players about the line of sight and elevation. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, especially if you just got like a mat and a couple scatter pieces, like you can do some fun stuff there. The theme is lost right now for anyone interested. Yeah, it's true. Finley loves the Oblivion Nexus so much. Yeah, it's one of my favorite pieces from Wildlands, I think. It's a very cool set piece that also gets to stay like bread and butter. And it isn't a resin piece. Like the fact that it's Dwarvenite is really cool, because I think, generally speaking, it looks like it would be a resin piece.
Here, a pro tip. Sometimes, if you have a material on your desk that you don't use particularly often, you find a new, different place for it, such as Domino's marinara sauce. Perhaps maybe to keep that off the desk. Plastic fork. Maybe you can
Are you
go.
painting with marinara sauce?
Yeah, this is a multi-use desk here. Let's get those out of the way.
You could probably paint with the Domino's sport.
It probably has the same nutritional value as paint, honestly.
Also, I don't know why you're covered in like marinara is fine, but garlic sauce is the way to go.
Well, I got the marinara with cheese bread. I mean,
Oh,
I mean,
yeah, yeah,
I mean
yes,
miniatures. I mean miniatures that I'm painting.
Yes, that. Man, normally it takes 10 more minutes for us to get into the food talk, but I've
Make a record pace today.
Huh?
We're making record pace today.
Oh,
Right.
yeah, yeah. Should
Before
I go
you,
to the bathroom?
I was gonna say you're gonna pee before we know it here.
uh,
Oh,
yeah,
man,
that's crass to label what I'm doing, but it's bathroom.
Paint the bread and paint the bread and dip the mini.
Wait.
I mean, if you got that pizza dragon from Reaper, you can.
There you go.
Pizza Dragon? I want a pizza dungeon.
I think that was like literally the theme for Bones 5. Was they were like escape from Pizza Palace or something like that.
Really?
You could make a
Yeah.
pizza dungeon just with a pizza, though.
I don't know. One thing you can use like the outside standing walls and put it under the pizza, so that you treat the pizza like a terrain tray. You scatter.
And you can put one of those corner walls in the middle, so it's kind of like that Barbie table they send, so that you
Yeah.
can keep the pizza from being squished.
Or you know that burrow stealth, the one that has a hole
Yeah,
in it.
yeah.
When I was thinking of it, Stefan was like, make something like a pizza thing. So that's based on a pizza thing.
The risers, or
Yeah, the one that has 3 legs.
nice. Whew. Oh. Metal minis, man. They're
Yep.
they're heavy compared to plastic.
Very true. I have to get better at pinning the joints. I get lazy and just glue them, and sometimes that can be a problem.
Yeah, I've got one here that I had to attach the arm, and I'm just waiting for that to dry. It's
Yeah.
taking longer than I want.
I'm realizing I got to do a step before I do what I'm doing here.
I'm basically just basing a bunch of pieces right now. It's like I don't even know what I want to do with this yet, but it's like we have this. It's not painted. Let's paint it.
Hell yeah! I can't wait to see tonight's Critical Role build. I always forget that we stream this before that on Thursday. I forgot
Yeah.
they're on Thursdays.
Usually, what I do is so the Discord does Critical Role watch parties every week.
Oh,
And so-
nice.
Usually, whatever I start working on in the hobby hang, I just keep working on while watching Critical Role and like talking to them about it.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Is that a wig? Is what a wig? Mace's monkey mask? The hairball at the bottom?
It's a wig for your face.
There you go.
Isn't that a beard?
A wig for your face.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mace is making something fabulous.
Yes.
A fabulous monkey.
Is there a beard toupee?
Probably.
If there is, I need it. I can't grow it.
I think you can usually count on beards to pick up the tab, yeah.
Because they're compensating, or
Let's see.
Okay, what am I doing?
currently working on the tree. Here, I'm giving it texture, giving bark and stuff.
Awesome.
And one of the branches is growing inside the house.
Oh, I love that. So it's been there a long time.
Yeah.
I have an uncle
They
who
had
had a
a
tree growing in his house.
What?
In his house?
Yeah, and it
And he
fell
lived
down.
there?
Yeah, they had to repair it. Like it was the architecture purposefully accounted for it, so it was pretty cool. But then when it fell down, that was less cool because they had to repair the roof.
Sure.
Have you named the house that you're sculpting, Toby?
Uh,
Fred.
no. What should it be named?
It depends on if you're gonna put elements of a movie in there, like Aaron suggested earlier.
There's
Because then
nothing
it's
big. Whatever. I forgot what she said, but pop culture references.
yeah.
I forgot what she said, but
Ugh, metal minis are just so much work.
Yeah, just wait. Have you tried like actual resin?
No.
Yeah, it's tough.
Is resin worse than metal and
I
plastic?
I think so, yeah. It's just like really soft and like the castings sometimes like don't even come out right and it's like more brittle so it's hard to clean up sometimes and stuff like
Nice thing about metal minis is you don't have to paint the swords.
that. There you go.
That's not true. Please paint the swords.
I don't know if it would be the worst thing though if you didn't paint it, you know?
No, it wouldn't be. There are worse things to leave unpainted. You prefer resin to metal? Metal has a habit of falling apart if you don't pin it. Yep. Metal is just a real pain. I haven't done resin, but like every time I work with metal, I just instantly start regretting it and wish I was doing plastic instead.
Plastic is the way. I kind of like the heft of metal minis when playing. I do get that actually. Like some of my Relic Blade stuff, it feels good to push around.
Yeah, and there's some really good detail you can get out of metal minis. Like it's not like they don't have their upsides.
Well, right,
just
yeah.
I just hate the process of painting them.
Yeah, they just don't take the paint as well. But there's a reason they use that type of metals, because it gets good detail. I mean, that was the way, old school. That's all they used, you know?
Is it pewter?
Yeah, and I don't know what the different... Like, nowadays they call it white metals, so it might be like a different mixture of some things, but
I don't
basically
think pewter
it's...
is a white metal.
It was old, and that makes it good. Let's see. Let's see. You know, I do agree. Like, there's something nice about a mini having heft to it, but I wish it just didn't come with being much harder to prepare.
Have you ever painted a mini that's plastic with a metallic base?
I have
No.
one, it's like mostly armor.
I did that for a lizard folk, and it was not mostly armor, and it did not turn out great. I did it on this show, too.
I remember that.
It's cool to, experiment with stuff like that, though. Hey, Band of Badgers, thanks for the raid.
Hey,
Band of Badgers! How you doing? Oh... Hamster, I need to give you the dates for that painting show.
Oh, yeah, please. That'd be great.
Yeah, Band of Badgers, if you're listening, Hamster wants to do it. I just need to get him confirmed on the dates.
Are we allowed to tell the audience?
Yeah, probably. I don't see why not.
Why don't you?
Band of
Why don't
Badgers
you-
is a very, very cool group of British DMs and players and hobbyists, and they do just a bunch of streams. And we're gonna have some people from the office making guest appearances on their games and shows and stuff over the next couple months. We're gonna start doing that. We just got to work out all the scheduling. But they do a lot of different games. They're doing Pathfinder. They're gonna be doing Starfinder, D&D. Yeah, so it should be a lot of fun. And they've got a system where guests can just like drop in for an episode or two, so we get to kind of actually develop characters and do like real role play without having to be free for the entire length of the campaign. So it's kind of perfect for our staff.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
It's gonna be fun. We just did a metagame special. Awesome. I've been wanting to follow up more, but like things have gotten very busy here the last few weeks. Which is, they're busy here every week, and I always think like, oh, thank God, after this week it's going to slow down, and then it never does. We specifically have like a number of secret projects I'm working on that like are all asking for my time right now. You familiar with Wand?
What is that?
Ace? It's a band.
No.
I think you would like their song Scarecrow.
Send it to me.
Okay. It's been stuck in my head today, and like, now that I think about it, I'm like, yeah, this is probably a Mace song.
All right. I love Mace songs as the category acclaims. So
It's a little sludgy.
I love sludge.
Let's see. Okay, I just gotta leave this for a while, let that dry. Oh, Hamster, are you batch painting an army?
This is a commission of the entirety of Blackstone Fortress. So this is one of the expansions. So it might as well be. There are so many of these here.
And you're doing oil paints for it, right?
Well, so right now I'm working with acrylics. These oils have been sitting here for a few days, so they're dry. But I did some like under painting base coats in acrylic just to have some variation, and then I just slapped a bunch of gritty oil washes on them. Let them dry, and now I'm doing acrylics to finish them up, make sure there's some highlights.
Never tried painting with my nails before.
Oh yeah, DMN, how did your D&D stream go? I remember last Hobby Hang you were asking about some overlay stuff. It looked good the way you had it.
Thanks for stopping by last night. Oh! I didn't know he was streaming.
Yeah, he started up a stream game.
I need to pay more attention to everything.
If you subscribe to his channel, you won't have to pay that much attention, and Twitch will remind you.
I am subscribed to so many.
I had to cut
get
some of mine.
notifications.
I had to cut some of mine this month.
I should probably do that. There's probably a lot that I'm sub to that I just haven't watched in months. But I keep telling myself just because like I just don't have time to watch things right now, but soon I will, and then I'll be watching them again.
Including your own stream?
Yeah, I've barely even been doing my own streams anymore.
I know. I've noticed. I can't make you drink Gatorade, and it's really bogging me down.
I mean, that's not going to be in every stream. That was specifically
Well,
an event thing.
It kind of should.
I always have Gatorade on hand. I should just be constantly buying Gatorade and supporting this business that makes a
Well,
product I don't like.
and if you don't buy it, you know that you have a good friend that'll drop by and force drink you.
Force
Kind of.
drink you.
Uh,
No, I'm getting drank again.
not
Uh,
again.
it's Chinese water torture or whatever. Is that what it's called?
Waterboarding?
Is that yeah? I guess Chinese torture is it's not politically correct.
Well, I think that
Waterboarding.
one specifically is like when you're just dripping, right?
I think
I
waterboarding
don't
and
do that.
what you're talking about is different things.
Yeah, waterboarding is just like a ton of water, making you feel like you're drowning.
I'll Gatorade board you.
Okay. Hey everyone, how are we doing this evening? Good, happy. Thanks for joining in.
Alternative questioning techniques. A lot of technical issues with people needing to tether to their phones. Oh, like for internet? That's really unfortunate. I feel like Gatorade boarding would lead to some very negative side effects. It's kind of what happens in every football game.
Chris can probably speak to it more than I can, but I chugged one Gatorade during his stream, and like 15 minutes after that, I looked at him in the eyes and I was like, I have to go. Like that was a bad idea.
Yeah, I was forced to drink a Gatorade and a half within like 10 minutes, and it was not a great experience.
Okay, you're saying you were forced to, but you set up the rules.
It was great content.
Just because I set up the rules didn't mean that people were allowed to, or even encouraged to abuse them.
Yeah, they were with channel points.
Was that?
You used capitalism against them. You used channel points to.
It would have been capitalism if I made them have to do it with bits, so they would be spending actual money.
Oh, that's how I got all of my points because I ran out of points. Because
You can't use.
yeah,
money.
you get 100 bits the first time you buy bits in, or you get 100 points or something the first time you buy bits in like a month or something. So
Oh,
shut your mouth.
well, that's
And
fine, I guess. But like, you still, the bits didn't do anything, so I didn't make anything off of people torturing me. I didn't monetize my suffering.
Well, that was your fault.
I'm not disagreeing.
Did you just enjoy it?
Well, first off, I hadn't done a stream like that before, so I wasn't sure what the response was even going to be like. I wasn't sure if anybody was even going to show up, and if they did, if they were going to find the point options entertaining or not.
Taking the menace Christopher Robin down, how could we not join?
Because not everybody is irony poisoned, I guess. No. I think there's a lot of people who would hear the concept of that stream. Like, I think if we told Nate about that stream, he would just be confused.
Yes, correct. Confused but supportive that you are harming yourself for streamers.
It is.
Not the harm part, just the I'm glad you're doing projects.
You know what? I'm glad you're pursuing something. I'm sure this is just as fulfilling as doing film work.
Yeah.
I'm sure this is filling the hole inside you for not being able to make your feature right now.
Yeah.
All right. Ugh. I don't think I ever tried to drink Gatorade, but Def did the 7th inning stretch more than a few times. Yeah, people love that 7th inning stretch. Also, poggers. Man, that poggers didn't end up aging very well. It was very shortly after that stream that the poggers thing happened.
I know. I was gonna say back in my day, you could say poggers without any kind of resentment.
Yeah, now poggers feels like some kind of weird political statement. Oh well. Question time. What should be on the next My to Buy list? I've got KS1 times 2 plus dungeon accessories, KS2 times 2 plus river tiles, village plus roof plus stores. What's the next $300 to $500 must-have? The next build of the month, baby!
Hey!
Coming in April. Be a starter dungeon plus dungeon ruins plus swamp water and cavernous water terrain tray pack plus burrows accessories pack plus deadly plants pack. I think that's everything. Dungeon ledges, I think that's everything. It's gonna be a little under 350 painted. I'm very excited about it. We're gonna.
Yeah, that'll be sweet.
Yeah, we were talking a little bit today about kind of our plans for punching it up. I'm excited that we're gonna try to market it to wargamers this time because we haven't done that with a build of the month before.
Yes.
But yeah. Instead of that, I don't know. If you don't have any... Well, if you've got your basic Camerons covered, getting a little bit of Hellscape might be fun. Assuming it's in stock. I don't think we have much of it in stock, actually. Some Ring City stuff. Debating Imperial Streets. Imperial Streets is a really good pack. Love my streets, but I use them less in dungeons. So the thing with streets is I feel like they're an exceptionally hot and cold set from person to person. Some people are never going to use the streets. And some people are going to use them constantly. And I don't think there's a whole lot of in between. I don't think you're ever in a situation where you have to use streets. You can always just do like scattered towns if you want. It's not like streets give you a ton of elevation or anything. Like,
It's nice though to have the three-dimensional tiles compared to terrain trays. I do agree though that it's like you can accomplish some stuff with terrain trays instead. But I feel like if I were running a campaign, I would use streets very frequently, which like I know also there's a lot of campaigns that wouldn't. So
I guess I just think that the streets are one of the more purely aesthetic sets. I guess. And it's a really good aesthetic, but to some people, it's just not going to be that important. Going hard for sewers soon, mainly because I have a plan in my next campaign for sewers. You'll want more corners for sewers. Yeah, especially if you magnetize your sewer set. Like, what we have there is really, really good, and I would love for us to do more of them. Just not in this one, you know? But,
Vertex, I think this is you that posted. I don't know if you saw my Discord comment, but I was really admiring your Sisters of Battle paint scheme. I have a bunch of, well, let's see. I have the army box that came out, and a couple heroes, and I want to do Cyberpunk, a Cyberpunk deal with those. Let's just say I bought a few Forge World Necromunda heads. So, that's a project I'm really excited about.
cool. Sisters of what?
Sisters of Battle. They're basically like Space Marines, but nun versions. They're like nun Space Marines.
That's insane.
They really are, though. They're like super hardcore for the Emperor, and they're just like female Space Marines that are basically Emperor nuns.
I love that. It's like Rasputin, but in space.
wait, so how many Space Marines do you have?
Oh, don't ask me that. Yeah, nuns with guns, Verdict says. Space Marine. So these are different factions. They're still both Imperial. Like they could play together, but The Sisters of Battle are their own faction, so I probably have like 50 of those. If I have 2.5 Indominus boxes, how many Space Marines do I have, Chad? I have a lot of Space Marines. The new Space Marines, though, in that set, they came with some really cool versions of some new stuff. So I have those. Well, the half box is Necron, so I have even more Necrons because they have some Horde troops. Yeah, way too much plastic. I just got some historical stuff. I don't know why I continue to buy stuff. I just got some historicals come in for this game called Sludge, which the Relic Blade guy is making. And it's sort of like historical fantasy, like dark horror fantasy. So you can like kit bash a bunch of historical periods from like any era, and they are fighting together.
Huh. It's kind of cool.
Yeah. And so, like, he's kind of like, encouraging you can use whatever miniatures you want. And so you can kind of lean more fantasy or more historical. So I have historical miniatures, but this is the project where I have things like ostrich cavalry. They're going to be riding ostriches and llamas.
Wait. So if that, weren't we talking about ninjas versus pirates?
Oh yeah, we were talking about like Greatest Warrior or whatever it was.
Yeah, how ninjas and pirates became like a huge
thing in the 2000s, Chris. Live out your dream. Ninjas versus pirates.
I don't understand.
I know.
Well, apparently my dream is ostriches versus llamas, so.
Dude.
Makes sense.
That's like historical faction. That's stupid.
I've been thinking a lot about Jimmy Neutron lately. And like...
Mean?
Well, no. Carl Weezer had like an...
Oh yeah, it is Carl.
Was super into llamas.
That's right.
Can you do a Carl voice?
But pregnant, so that show was weird.
Yeah.
I loved that show growing up.
The movie was top notch too.
The big mutant chicken, the giant chicken.
Yep. That's the one.
Sounds like you're trying to give Games Workshop a run for their money with their kangaroo elves. Yeah, the new elf mounts are quite fantastical.
I do. So speaking of the streets, Finley says, must agree the streets are really only suitable for specific campaigns. I can use them for parts of my capital city, for example, but pretty much every other settlement in my world are more organic in their construction. The roads like that simply don't exist. I actually think this next Kickstarter is going to make the streets more valuable because we're focusing a lot on trying to make the outdoors more playable. And so I think having the streets there, I think we're going to see more exterior action with the new stuff coming out. I think most of the action tends to happen indoors at the moment when it comes to cities. Chris, have you been thinking about Jimmy Neutron because of Food Theory's Hub Cinematic Universe video? No, what is that? I don't watch Food Theory stuff. I think I saw one Food Theory video back when they first started it, and I was like, yeah, I'm not into this either. And I just haven't watched any of it since. I don't really need more of anything. I'd rather be able to make a new than have more of something. Huh. Yeah, maybe you do just hold on to it for KS8 then. The problem is that Imperial Streets runs the same as the Village, and it doesn't add as much as the Village did. Yeah, the Village gives you a lot more playable stuff than the Streets do, currently.
Verdict says, I'm picturing British explorers riding ostrich. So what I have right now is sort of like Civil War guys with like the coats, right? But they have like French Agincourt like knightly helmets on them, and then they're riding their strange mounts. I also have a bunch of like Templar looking miniatures, so I want like 2 factions of Templars, but not in any like real faith. They've like been in this dark horror world for so long that they have turned against each other and are I kind of want like a juxtaposition of factions of like one banner is a toad and one is a fly or something. That's what I'm going with now.
Oh, that's cool.
And so, but they have like the drapery on the horses and stuff.
I feel like Toad versus Fly, though, it's too obvious who's gonna win each time.
The fly is cunning.
Well,
Okay.
in our simulation, the fly has a gun.
Just holding a pistol.
Doesn't have a gun for each foot.
I think there's just no way to get around it. If the fly has a gun and the toad doesn't, the fly's gonna win every time.
But wait a minute though. Is it a fly-sized gun? Because that might not be very lethal.
No, it's a regular gun.
The smaller the gun, the more lethal.
The smaller the
That
gun?
is true. Have you seen Men in Black?
Have you seen MK Ultra and other science experiments such as the heart attack gun by the government? Anyway, conspiracy theory talk over. Small guns
As quickly as
equal
it began.
good gun.
How many flies to kill a toad? How many flies can a toad fit in its throat before they're managed to clog its airways?
Well,
Because if they all just fly into its mouth at the same time.
would you rather fight one human-sized fly or 100 fly-sized frogs?
Wait.
Toads.
Wait.
What?
Fly-sized frogs, you can take them all out with one move.
They're all poison dart frogs.
Oh dang! I'm horrible at darts.
And they also fly.
Yeah, I don't like needles, so
Why don't poison dart frogs actually shoot darts?
Oh
It's a
man.
misnomer.
like they all just get blowguns.
Yeah.
It's evolution.
Oh, now I want to make a. Oh man, I want to make a poison dart frog monk now that just throws like darts. Because darts are one of those weapons that it's like one of the it's a weapon that they always give to monks in 5e. But like, when do you ever actually use those darts? I've never seen a monk actually use those darts.
That's because I have a similar beef with ball bearings that rogues get. I feel like a lot of rogues don't typically use them. Like there's some tools people don't take advantage of, and I try to use all those tools as much as I can, like possibly, but
I think it's just very rare that you wind up with a DM who puts you in situations where like thinking environmentally about your fight is helpful.
but that's when you have to get creative yourself. Like that can be on the player where they're like, well, I have these tools that I don't want to use, don't know how to use them, but it's like, get creative, man.
Yeah, you make the
Yeah,
DM think
man.
about it. I love trying to bring the environment into fights. Like,
Yeah.
one of my favorite things to do is to apply a spell or an ability in a way that like isn't in the rules as written, but is like an extension of that idea that isn't really, they don't say you can't do it, and then you follow the logic of it, and it's like, well, yeah, it makes sense that's what happened. Like, I love just coming up with interactions like that.
People are annoying.
One of my favorite DM tests is to ask them if somebody is in if your characters are in a moving vehicle and they use rope trick and they go up and they hide in a rope trick while they're in a moving vehicle and the vehicle keeps moving. Does the rope trick move with the vehicle, or does it stay in place like where they went and the vehicle moves like through it, and then when they get out they're no longer in the vehicle?
And how does that move work?
Rope trick, you're holding a rope, and it lifts up into the air and stops, and at the top of the rope is an invisible, like you can't see it, but it's like a passage into a pocket dimension. And you sit up there.
Are you throwing the rope up, or does the rope just appear?
You can pull the rope up into the portal with you, or you can leave it hanging down.
Yeah, but when you're getting the rope out, do you throw it up, or does it come down?
When the rope trick is over, it falls back down.
No, when it starts.
When it starts, the end of the rope like hovers up into the air, and then you have to climb the rope to get up to the top where the entrance is.
So probably you won't even be able to catch it. because by the time it gets to you, you're already like probably like 20 feet ahead.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. So like maybe like you're trying to pull off a train heist.
Yeah.
So if you're trying to pull off a train heist, can you sneak into the vehicle?
Yeah.
Like, can you sneak into the train car before anybody knows, like, and rope trick before it starts moving, and like hide up in the corner. Nobody knows you're there. You pull like the rope up, it starts moving, and then the guards like leave, or the people loading things up leave, and then you come out of the rope trick, and you know, and you take all the stuff. Like, will it let you stay there, or once it starts moving, does it like leave you behind? The answer to that is always really interesting to me, because different DMs will come up with different justifications for it. My favorite one is when they just say like, well, what's more fun in like the situation? Like, depending on what the players want it to do for their plan to work, like they'll probably just go with, you know, however they think whatever they think will be more fun. Monks use darts when they have 1 HP. That's fair. The number of pitons I've jammed into traps is countless. That's also fair.
I feel like if you threw the rope up, it would follow the train. But if since the rope comes down, it doesn't, because when you're throwing it, the velocity of the rope will be the same as the train
Yeah.
going forward. Yeah.
I'd rule that if the rope is in the portal stays put. When the rope is down, it'll be caught on walls like inside the train, unless the vehicle is magic. That's like the real catch, right? Is like if you leave the rope down, then it is like a thing of like, then what happens when the object moves through it? It would be fun if like the rope just drags if you leave the rope down in there, then it can be interacted with, and so it can just get dragged along with objects. Or if your portal, if your dimension door or whatever, like isn't able to move, and you leave the rope down, and the vehicle starts moving, is it just unable to move the rope, and like they just aren't able to actually leave?
Or if the portal doesn't move with the train, is the walls of the train going to be going into the portal?
The train just goes inside.
Parts of the train just like gets like shaved off into the portal.
Just like a perfect oval of the back of the train is just like cut out and goes inside the pocket dimension with you.
Yeah.
I think the player could specify the reference location that they're casting it. So I'm casting it here in the car, or I'm casting it here on the tracks. Interesting. This is the thing, is like, yeah, like if it's an interesting spell, because like what it says is that it anchors itself like in space, so then it just becomes like there's interesting interactions that come from that, because like then what if something comes and takes up that space that you cast it in? Fidel Strawberry, thank you for the following all of these emotes. That's a lot of emotes. Power Up L, Holiday Present, TV Angel, TP Crunchyroll. I don't know.
I have a color palette question. If you guys,
They watch Overwatch, I guess. What's up?
I have a color palette question.
So, I mean, I'm probably not.
I know that red and green are complementary colors, so I know that that would help stick it out. But I also feel like there's something that would be more aesthetically pleasing. So I'm kind of wondering what goes well with teal and perhaps red. Red's questionable, but I really want something to pop on it.
Yellow or
Pulling up color wheel.
Oh, do you use Cooler ever?
I have used that. Yeah.
I tried to use it for this, but then I kept adding new colors to the side because I wasn't satisfied, and they let me. They told me I reached my limit. So.
Topula says teal and orange, aka every movie poster
Oh
ever.
yeah, there's a very.
There's a reason though. That's a good combo.
Steal the Star Wars.
It's because orange is close to skin, so it helps like the skin pop on a movie, and then the teal is like the opposite. So it's not like they're gonna make skin red, but they're gonna need something to contrast the background. So.
And orange is complementary to blue too, so that kind of works there as well. You could do like a purple. I didn't think Toby said yellow would be nice. I'm looking at like the triadic sort of thing here. If we do teal and orange, if you're doing, well, let's see. You're trying to do red and teal.
Yeah.
Still leaning more like a yellow orange or like a blue or purple. Something like that might be worth a try.
Okay, I have those here. I might make a actual IRL palette and
I
then
kind of
see.
like teal orange and like a magenta sort of color.
Like this? Or is that too dark?
I would probably lighten it. I'm honestly leaning more like vaporwave, like Chris is working on.
Yeah. So I'm going with teal, purple, and orange right
Yeah,
now
yeah.
as my color scheme. I decided to cut the pink. Although I might use pink as an accent actually.
Yeah, maybe like
Yeah, pink.
little lights on weapons or amulets or something, or
Yeah, I decided
little
her
accent.
Hair, I decided her hair is going to be a bright orange.
Ooh,
Purple.
nice.
I was like, purple hair or pink hair might be like pushing it, but I think making it bright orange would fit vaporwave while still seeming somewhat natural.
Wait, why not pink hair?
Is that possible for Genasi? I don't know.
Oh, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Try
But
desaturating some of it and not using equal amounts. I think I'd agree, but Mace is gonna have this photographed, and it's supposed to be like really bright and poppy. Like, I think the style. I mean, I've looked at your site. I think the style would actually be decent if they're saturated colors. Like, definitely on like a miniature or a piece of art. But I think for this, like, think of like a logo, right? Like nowadays, it's all like really saturated, flat colors on things.
Like the Nike swoosh. Just all black.
You do want a focal point, so like where you put the brightest one, like, think of like the eyes.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
The eyes and the nose, I want to have a really fun color. And the mouth potentially as well. Well, it's a monkey, so I feel like you can get kind of creative about what the highlights are because
nobody's seen a monkey.
nobody's seen a monkey.
I think you're already in a good spot because your teal isn't like super duper bright. So if your orange is on there, you're already gonna have that nice balance of saturation.
Kind of like a 60s, 70s mod
Yeah.
theme.
All colors are complementary if you want it bad enough. Trust me, I have, in the middle of the night in an exhausted state, sent pictures to Nate with pieces that basically had every color on them. And I'm like, what do you think? And then I look at it in the morning and I'm like, oh, God. What is that monstrosity?
My color palette is rainbow.
Yeah, right? Exactly. Like some of the plants. Like, here's the thing. I do a couple plants. I'm like, oh, these are good. And then I'm like, I got to do more plants that are different from the other plants. I've used all my plant schemes. And I got to come up with something different.
If they wild plants, I dig it. I'm really happy with the way the plants came out in Wildlands, honestly.
Yeah, me too.
Oh, and then here's the other thing. I'm coloring the hair too. So that I feel like could be more sedated than the rest of it, but
I think you're right. Yeah.
The hair chalk I have, it's for like 10-year-old girls, so it's very bright.
Yeah, but you're also putting it into black hair, so as long as you kind of do it little by little, you'll probably be okay, and you can get a subtler effect. I mean, I haven't used that stuff, but hopefully I'm right.
Well, I'll leave it with your notebook on the desk, so.
Hey, that gives you good orange to reference.
do dark red for the hair.
Ooh.
Like I have these two I like a lot actually for the hair. We do have dark red too, actually. And purple, which might be cool.
You can make gray out of teal and orange as well. Yeah, that's a good point. If you want to make like interesting grays, like mix complementaries that exist in your scheme, and that makes them a little like, I was gonna say cooler, but not like cooler in temperature, like cooler as just like less boring.
Like more dynamic.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm gonna finish this mask tonight either.
You don't have to.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll finish it next.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll finish these miniatures either. But that's important. That's for your business.
I'm definitely gonna finish Vaporwave. She's very simple.
Well, I'm excited to see the result.
She has like very few actual details, and
I actually haven't looked at your paintings yet.
to be fair, it's kind of hard to see when I'm working on something this small from this angle.
Well, also you're so far away from the camera, I can only see your hand.
Yeah.
Viewfinder isn't finding.
Yeah. Okay. Oh. I'll adjust this. Hang on. Ugh. I'm getting old.
Aren't we all? Who's not getting older? Benjamin Button?
He's getting older, just his concept for old is different.
So that's
Oh.
her so far.
Truly, you're so
So I think
cute.
Oh, I like the colors.
I think I might make the sash like a bright pink, and then her hair is gonna be orange. Or maybe I'll make the sash orange as
Nice.
well. We'll see.
Is the pink pastel?
Yeah, the goal is for this to literally just be like all Vaporwave colors. So it's all gonna be pastel and neon stuff.
But Vertex,
Dig it.
you're totally right. Like over the past year or so, I've really been trying to dig into like designing schemes in general, just like in theory. But then of course, I learned quickly what you said about like you need kind of a main color and others need to be less saturated or they're going to distract from each other, right? And so I especially did that on my Infinity where I wanted to include white, which obviously is like pretty bright. And so I toned it down to more of like a ivory gray. And I even, because there was red in the scheme, I did it more of a green, gray, white, and so that worked really well. And I was really, really happy with that. That was a cool like lesson that I learned about, like adding something that's a bright color on the wheel, kind of, but like not necessarily super bright, the brightest version of it relative to the rest of the scheme. That was a cool experiment.
Here we go. It helps if she doesn't have shoes.
Yeah, just make it the same color as other parts of it.
I might try to like make her feet like a little dirty, but
Cold.
'cause, yeah, she's as a monk, she doesn't have a lot of stuff going on.
Oh, I love this color. I'm pleased.
Yay!
Yay. Ooh, I don't know if you saw them or were able to see them, but for Dirty Feet, Aaron, the other paint Aaron,
And the painter, that doesn't
she
add
makes,
on anything.
no, she made some really cool color schemes for the upcoming project, C2, the Kickstarter 8, and One of them has a really cool kind of wash effect. I don't know how much I can say without saying it, so.
Well, what we can say is they're absolutely beautiful designs.
They are beautiful. And also, I think maybe there could be some inspiration there if you're able to find it.
I did. Were they the ones that were on Hamster's desk or no?
Well, those are mine. There are
Okay.
pictures. There are pictures in. I don't know if everyone's in deep development, but there will be on Aaron's desk probably, or in the photo booth.
So I did see some samples on your desk, but I haven't seen anything from Aaron.
Aaron definitely nailed the stone better than me. I liked her stuff.
She did a fantastic job. You also did a great job, too. It's just like what I'm specifically talking about. I feel like you could do a similar thing with Dirty Feet.
With washing, yeah.
Yeah. Wash
I
your
guess
dirty feet.
I liked the little sketches I did. It just she kind of aligned with the overall vision better that we've been brainstorming.
I mean, that's the real thing, right? Is it's not just about what looks the best; it's about like what fits in the
Yeah,
grand scheme of things.
yeah, exactly.
Unfortunately, our decisions can't just be what looks the best.
Right.
And it's awesome when they are.
I mean, that's what's cool about minis, right? Minis get a lot more freedom to just kind of be
I
what they are.
cannot get over our basilisk. Like when you guys were talking about the Nexus being your favorite piece, I just in my mind I was like, they're wrong. Like opinions can't be wrong, but they can be right, and the right one is the basilisk.
It's not my favorate piece, but it's one of my favorite terrain pieces.
Well,
Basilisk
then
is your
you
favorite terrain piece?
No, the next.
I do love the basilisk. That was another example though of like, all right, I'm painting a sweet basilisk, and then it's like, hey, awesome, all right, paint a cooler alternate version of the basilisk. And I'm like, okay, pulling my hair up. It turned out good.
they both turned out great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I think out of 2 paint schemes for that is wild.
Well, this was the desk I was crying at while it happened. So, no, I'm just kidding. It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. Especially once we got to that. I mean, obviously, I'm partial to the miniatures. I love that stuff, and that was just such a cool sculpt. And the LEDs were coming. You know, we're part of the alternate one, and yeah, just so much cool stuff involved in that.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to see the paint master of that LED.
Doing the LEDs in that was fun.
Yeah,
I had to cut the neck off and then like drill holes through the like both the body and the thing, and then put 3 LEDs and then like glue it back on.
that's awesome.
I really cannot wait to get the factory paint back of the LED basilisk.
Yes, tears are a
Your
great
types of-
medium. There we go.
Also, I think I might need to. It's that time. It's 7:14. It's 5
Mark it.
o'clock. Sometime. I'm just gonna keep saying that. All right.
Hoppy,
BRB.
you got a pizza oven? Here's the thing. I already eat too much pizza. If I had my own pizza oven, oh my god, I'd be dead. But happy.
I'd rather die happy than keep living unhappy, honestly.
True that. I find painting terrain so much more enjoyable than painting minis. I mean, I love painting terrain too. I guess I just started with minis. You know, it's just like my first painting love.
There's stuff I really like about minis. I haven't really painted a lot of terrain yet, so I'll, say how I feel once I finally do Hellscape, although I feel like Hellscape is also a very interesting first foray into terrain painting.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, painting over something that you want to remain, some of it to remain translucent like that, very challenging.
Yeah. But I don't know. I think there's definitely there's appeals to both of it, right? Like minis, it feels like you get to focus on one job, and it's more stressful There's also so much story in it though that I like a lot. I like painting a mini, and then as I make choices about how things look, like things are kind of coming into picture about like who this person is and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I guess, I mean, think about it, like, especially working at Dwarven Forge, I paint a lot of terrain, and they're like bigger pieces and stuff. And so when I come home for my hobby stuff, I guess I like the miniatures. Like I can take my time with them more. They're just like smaller, obviously, so I can take my time with them more, I guess. As opposed to a big terrain piece is just in general going to take a little longer and need more paint and stuff. Because right now my perfect mini painting experience is like my goal usually. Because normally I have so much stuff for games that, you know, I'm mostly painting gaming stuff. But I want it to be cool, right? So unless I'm painting an army or a big group like this, normally I like to do one model at a time, spend like 2 to 4 hours on it, right? So I'm really picking away, going back and forth, and not like rushing it, and it's not like taking a super duper long time. So that's kind of like my bullseye. So normally a smaller mini fits that a little better.
Finding good pizza around me is like finding good music at Walmart. Woof.
Well, then I'm glad you have the resources for good pizza. Painting armies is brutal. You know what? I agree. But to, I guess, contradict what I just said, sometimes I like a project that's like a different type of challenge, right? Like I painted that Eldar army. I had a goal in mind. My buddy was getting deployed. I said, I'm going to send him off with a sweet Warhammer 40K game. So I had this whole, and everything's better painted, more fun painted, right? So I had this whole army assembled, and I said, by this date, which was in like a week, I'm going to have this army painted. So that got a different type of creativity going of, okay, how do I design the process to hit the date and sort of like hit a target result at a target time, and it was a little more mechanical that way. So it was fun to figure that out and get it done and get through it. I would never want to only do that by any means, but it was fun to kind of to switch it up, the type of project.
Yeah, doing the Froghemoth was a nice break. Like that was, I spent like three different sessions on it, I think, and just it was my first time doing like a large mini like that, and so to just be focusing on something that large, like I don't know, it was a nice change of pace.
Yeah, and it turned out really cool. And you know, that's a good example of like you tried some different stuff like airbrushing and that kind of thing, and you were using references. So I don't know, just adding those a couple new things to sprinkle into every project, like really helps my motivation.
Yeah, I can vibe with that.
Yeah.
Vibeable confirmed.
I've always wanted to do a battalion box weekend challenge, man. I miss the old battalion boxes for Warhammer Fantasy. I just loved picking one of those up. I had so many different factions battalion boxes. And I think when I got the Eldar army, I just bought like 2 of the start collecting boxes to start. Just like doubled up on that. But I actually am going to have a thing. It's going to be bonkers. But I'm going to need to paint 2 armies in 12 hours. Actually, assemble and paint 2 armies in 12 hours. So, Matt, see, I'm grinning because that sounds crazy, right? So to actually design a process to execute that is going to be, like, I think such a fun challenge.
I'm excited for you, but that sounds insane.
It'll be fun to, like, see what result I can actually get in that time, you know? I'm curious about that.
All right, guys. I don't want to speak too soon, but this nose looks pretty good.
Awesome.
I feel like this is the part in painting where I'm like, I'm too scared to make it good, so I just make it color block, and I'm glad I'm not staying safe. Or basic, I guess. Not even safe, it's just like a more basic paint scheme normally.
There is
You know
no
what I
safe,
mean?
only monkey.
Do you guys get to that point where it's like, I don't want to make it better because by making it better, I could actually mess up the entire thing?
Oh yes.
Yeah, there are times where I'm like, I guess I'm just gonna live with being unhappy with this part because I might be more unhappy later.
Okay,
Almost
yeah.
every single miniature I paint. Yes.
Well, it's good to feel heard. Like, what is it? What did you say? Relatable. It's relatable.
Yeah, I can relate to that.
There you go.
Yeah, verdicts. All four of us are part of the full-time crew at the old DF.
Yep.
Toby, the most senior veteran.
Yeah, we get senior discounts.
I thought it meant that he's like seen stuff, you know? Senior. Like, yeah, he's seen it.
I've seen it all. Yeah, I've been here since KS. We wait for KS4
Wow.
consoles.
Man,
There were different times.
everything I hear about KS4 makes it sound very scary.
I feel like I didn't even get the bulk of the bad stuff because I was like doing very part time there. I was still finishing up school, so but most of the times when I wasn't there, apparently there was a lot of shit going on.
How long did it take for you to kind of be in the spot that you're in now?
I mean, it was weird because at that point there was no such thing as like any permanent members. So it was like, well, except for like Nina even was like kind of like just became more permanent, and I kept having to ask, "Can I stay around? Can I stay around?" And like, yeah, like so it was me and like the summer after we were just me and Nina in like the basement of the building where our office was.
Huh.
Then yeah, then as we went on, Aaron came on, Dana came on, uh, Hamster, and then Selena, I think. Or it has to be
No,
Selena.
Selena was first because
Yeah.
she got me hired. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think
Exactly,
only
I
like a
forgot about
month
it. Yeah.
before that or something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah, that was like, wasn't it like literally a thing where she's like, "Hey, does anybody know anybody that paints?" And like, I think
Yeah.
Tyler was like,
No, she was at the bar where Chris and I's mutual friend Kelsey worked at.
"Yeah, the place
she-
we all used to hang out."
Yeah, and she asked him, "Do you know any miniature painters?" And he was like, "I do."
I'm pretty sure he came in to try to paint once.
That guy did come in for a day to base coat stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sarah says, Mace, what are you painting?"
It's a monkey mask. I'll put it on real quick as long as I.
Is that a replica of your head you're
Yes.
painting? Yeah, so basically.
Oh. Whoa, that color looks cool.
Yeah, and then like I put the nose on and the ears are in progress. I guess you can't really see the details, but I'm
You
happy
can
with
see
that.
the wrinkles and stuff. It's a really cool color.
I like how your hair works with it under it.
Oh yeah, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Palette.
I mean, that's why you chose that.
Yeah, I thought that was on purpose.
Well,
I
I
mean,
did
you
not
like teal, that's what I'm saying.
exactly.
Yeah.
That's the thing. That it's not on purpose that I wear only teal all the time. Like I just really like teal, and that's what I buy.
Sounds like you have all done a bachelor's degree. My degree is in musical theater, so it did not get me this job.
I don't have a degree. I have a certificate that means nothing.
Right.
I went to an acting conservatory, and I have a certificate that proves that I went there. They started offering bachelor degrees the year after I graduated. So, yeah.
And I have
That-
architecture degree.
You what?
Yeah.
What is it in again, Toby?
Architecture.
Right.
Very. Yeah, wasn't my thing.
But in a way, it does kind of align with what you do. You're designing the
Definitely.
geometry and stuff.
It's also interesting.
I
that,
remember
like, the 3D program that I was using for that. I'm using it a lot for like the armatures and all that. Like since we have the 3D printer, I'm constantly on that now. It's like, so it's like surprisingly came back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
but when I first heard you,
What do you say?
well, I think that I like when I first heard you did an architecture degree. I think it was like 2 or 3 months into me working here. I was like, okay, that guy is officially too cool now to talk to. Like, I cannot speak to him because I love
Please
architecture.
continue
I'm
not
not
speaking to me.
sorry.
I love building.
Yeah.
Let's see. I'm at the point where I'm getting like super granular about like trying to get the lines like perfectly clean. Where like the pants turn into her legs.
Yeah, I'm in batch mode, so normally I might start kind of fiddly, and by the time I do a handful of them, I'm getting a little less picky with each one.
You just start getting tired of painting the same thing.
Yeah, but that honestly kind of helps. It makes you like stop second guessing, and you just kind of zoom through it.
And also, happy accidents are a real thing.
Oh yeah, well especially, yeah, go for it.
Oh, I've just had many times where I like tried to execute something on a paint job and I messed up, but it ended up being a really good result. Like I kept it.
Yeah. Well, and it helps with stuff like this. It's supposed to be super gritty and dirty and rusty. Like, you could slop a bunch of crap on there and almost make it better. Batch painting those Sisters of Battle seems endless. Yeah. Yeah, that's a lot of models. I even was trying to, like, make a list. I was like, okay, what else do I need to buy to make this, like, a legal, like, 2,000 point army? And I was like, man, I would need a lot of stuff. I might just keep it at what I have and just paint them up. I've circled back to fix errors so many times. Yeah, I have noticed there is kind of a magic number for batch painting for me. These I'm trying to manage doing more at a time, but normally I do like 6 or 7 at a time at most just to... Because there's kind of that balance of it would technically be more efficient to do all, whatever, 30 of whatever, but... sometimes that feeling of like finishing 5 of them can get you through the next 5. You know, so that balance of efficiency is an experiment. Hey, Six of Clubs, how you doing?
Hey, 6. Oh, yeah.
I gotta do that all the time when we're batch painting Dwarven Forge prototypes, like... just get a pile of them, and sometimes I can do a big pile, sometimes I gotta break it up, you know.
Yeah, the monotony can definitely wear on you, I'd imagine.
Yeah, those are normally only specific times, like, I mean, it depends on the day. Like, sometimes we need a certain number of prototypes for X, we need a lot of the bread and butter parts, we gotta crank through a crazy weekend doing that. Sometimes it's a crunch on a miniature, which is just one thing. but it's still kind of like efficiency time. So it changes up, keeps it exciting.
It's also that thing where like as a kid, where it's way harder to read a book that you have to read for class than it is to read a book that you just pick for yourself.
Right.
So when it gets to like crunch time on like, all right, you've got to do all these right now. I imagine that's more exhausting than stuff that you openly pick to do yourself. Terrain seems much easier to batch. Yeah, the nice thing about terrain is it seems like a very easy thing to, and again, I'm speaking as somebody who hasn't done any yet. But it seems like an easy thing to go, like, today I'm just going to do these steps while I'm thinking about, like, while I watch something. And then you can just leave it and then come back the next day and do, like, another step on across, like, all the pieces.
Yeah, that is true. There's kind of like those rote steps that don't necessarily take a lot of precision or something, and you can kind of just crank through them almost mindlessly and then get to the granular stuff. Yeah, the nice thing about that is you could grimdark them up with where they're at and just kind of do some weathering type of washes on the paint scheme you have, you know? That might be good. What I like about terrain and base is that you can be pretty messy with it and still looks good. Yeah. Yeah, especially like with organic stuff, you know what I mean? Like, it's not going to look like too dirty or something when it's dirt, you know? When it's grit from the earth.
Dirt?
Oh.
Dirt. Right.
What?
Is dirt always dirty?
Yeah. It's born
It's
dirty.
water, right?
Hamster, remind me, like, what I want to do next week is, so I've done all 5 of my Ragecraft orcs.
Ooh, yeah.
But they've all got, weird, they have, like, pegs, like, coming out of the, out of their base. And so when it comes to, well, out of the bottom of the sculpt, I guess I should say. So when it comes to basing them, I'm not quite sure what to do, and I want to base all 5 of them now. So I think that's what I want to do next week is base those. And I think I might need to, like, drill holes or something in some plastic bases to stick the pegs through or something to keep them secure.
Are they're plastic, right?
Yeah.
So they're not very heavy.
They're not heavy, no.
So I would do one of two things. You're right, either drill out a hole in all of your bases, or just clip off the peg.
I'm worried that I won't be able to clip it clean enough to get it to sit straight.
What you'd have to do is just clip up most of it, and I'm sure we have this in the office, get some sandpaper and sand it smooth just on the bottom where you ain't even going to see it. Remember when you saw me one stream, I was like filing a miniature? That's what I was doing, stuff like that. And I had the little sanding stick. So you'd want to... Okay, we got some real cat butt content happening right now.
Oh my god! That's obscene.
Yeah. We're gonna get
right down the barrel. Right down the barrel.
Yeah. Okay, she's gone now. I apologize to anyone who had to put up with that. But this was the name of this episode, so...
Right.
Usually you have to pay extra for that.
Wait, what's the new cat's name again?
Kickflip?
Oh, yeah. It's such a good name.
Kickflip?
Chicklet.
Oh, I heard kickflip.
You only hear what you want to hear, folks.
I like Kickflip. Yeah, she's nice. She's still very timid, but like she demands attention. Like sometimes like just gets all over, and then also starts like tapping me if I'm not petting her actively.
Six of Clubs says kickflip Hamster would have to throw down. There's only room for one kickflip master around these parts. The magic flip master.
That's your name in my
Wait.
phone.
Wait, really?
Yeah, you're
my God.
Hamster Magic Flip Master.
Oh my. Gilded said that also happened mid-staff meeting today with the cat butt. It's not your first cat butt of the day then, huh? It's a multi-cat butt day. But yeah, Chris, I guess it would be safer just to take a literal hardcore drill just to some bases, like, just because there's nothing fiddly about the bases, so you could probably be pretty rough with them with the drill and be fine.
I think that's how it's meant to be done.
That's definitely why they put the peg there. I'm just saying, like, if you, for one thing, I have a bunch of spare bases that don't have slots or anything, so that's why I would clip it off, because I already have flat bases. But
So they came with flat bases.
that's just odd to me, first of all. I've never seen that before. And I've never seen necessarily the peg either, unless it came with a hole. It's normally like the full slot with like the strip on the bottom, or just flat feet, flat base. So that's just kind of
Yeah,
so I guess they want you to drill it, yeah.
I was surprised by it too, but yeah, I can't think of why else it would be the way it is. But I'm also going to need to decorate the bases too, because I don't want them to just be plain black bases.
Right.
So that'll be fun. I have a couple basing materials, so I'm excited about that.
Did you get them in your subscription box, or did you get these on your own?
Some of them came from Asset Drop. Actually, I think like all of them came from Asset Drop. But I've got a lot of like snow basing options,
Ooh.
and I think that's what I'm gonna do for most of them.
Ooh, snow oryx, that'll be cool.
Yeah. Well, because they all got like heavy cloaks on and stuff, so
Yeah.
seems like the right thing to do.
Oh man, Mace, I'm loving this already.
I know, me too. I'm very excited. Normally, I lose enthusiasm halfway, or even at the beginning of painting. So maybe I'm a maximature painter.
Maximature? It's awesome.
Turns out all we had to do was give her a monkey, and
Have monkey will paint.
Right.
Mama said they are giving us bases in the Broken Anvil Kickstarter, so I'd gotten a bunch in the Pledge Manager. Going to be Base City over here in a few months. See, I got some extra bases in both Bones 5 and Broken Anvil, just because I want to have some on hand just in case. And I want to experiment with doing more basing stuff. So I'm down with having extras.
Yeah, I got a bunch of extras too. Just I've been buying so many random like small companies miniatures, and some have bases, some don't. So figured I'd have a supply. I just go on Amazon though. Like I don't buy like Games Workshop base or anything that are stupid expensive. I've even tried different kinds, like some wooden bases, just round discs, that kind of thing.
You can get a load of bases for pretty cheap, also from 20 Sided. So
Oh, really? Okay, that's a local store for y'all chat.
I haven't been there. Haven't been there since Lillard's game, actually.
I don't think I've actually ever been there.
I love it. It's nice.
I've never been to that one. I've been going to Hex & Co. Well, Toby and I have been to Hex & Co. before. We played Magic drafts in the Ravnica days.
Magic at 20-sided as well.
Yeah.
And once this pandemic lifts, we should go again.
Yeah, I'm down to draft again, man. I missed that. That was fun.
I heard Hex & Co. moved, like...
Well, the West Side only moved a couple doors down,
Okay.
apparently.
I supported them again for their Kickstarter.
Yeah, me too. I need another mug. I have my Hex & Co. paint mug.
I need a
Right
matching
here.
one.
Yeah. There's also this place called the Uncommons, which is kind of small, but actually I think the Hex & Co. people own that, actually. But it's down by NYU, so they get crazy traffic with all the college kids down there. PJ Philly, MTG fans, dude, like Warhammer, I kind of started Magic and Warhammer around the same time, and they've both been enormous parts of my life. Like I kind of would go in and out of like years of super hardcore Magic and years of super hardcore miniature painting. It was always one or the other.
Yeah,
I
most
have,
of the staff is pretty big on Magic.
oh yeah. Well, when I came in for the interview, I saw like an open booster box or something. I was like, "Hey, what's going on here, guys?"
You gonna finish
I
that?
miss all this
Right?
drafting. Nate has like booster boxes unopened for drafting. It's just like every time I walk in, it's like I miss it.
Yeah. Level 2 Magic Judge here. That's cool.
Oh, nice.
I had never ended up doing it, but I kind of wanted to take the test just to like generally test my knowledge of the rules. Because for a while I was doing tournaments, I wasn't doing like huge tournaments, but you know, like Star City qualifiers, whatever was local, I would do. Um, so I was like keeping up on deck lists and stuff. And when Modern came out, I was super into Modern. Um, so I was like sort of playing competitive, at least keeping up with competitive Magic. So that was fun. Like that's almost a different game than like, well, Commander that DMN just mentioned, sort of more casual stuff. And I love both all
Yep.
sides of Magic.
And
I
for
just got
DM,
a
yes, I love Commander.
Yeah, I love Commander too.
My favorite deck is I have a deck that's all around coin flipping.
Yeah, the what set was that? The new unset had a bunch of coin flip
That one's
stuff.
not from Onset. That's from Battlebond, I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Hobby Hang Spell Table. We just have a Magic night.
We should. I'm so
Nice.
down for that.
That'd be fun. Philly started playing around Avacyn Restored. I liked that set. That whole block of like, was that Innistrad? Yeah. It was right before Return to Ravnica, and there was Innistrad, Avacyn Restored, and what was the third one? Innistrad, such cool set. And I was really into Standard in Innistrad and Return to Ravnica Standard, and those had some sweet decks, man. I really liked playing that format. And Verdix started playing back in Arabian. He's cause like paying a mortgage selling off that collection. You know, that's some old school.
Around Rivals of Electron when we started playing Magic at work.
Yeah, right.
Okay, but what's your color though? Is the thing.
Well, like, I've played so many years that I think it's a natural transition. I start to play blue. I start to play some control-y stuff as I get familiar with the game after years and years. Antiquities, awesome. Oh, DMN plays green blue.
I tend to go blue white.
Yeah.
I tend to go blue white. I do like green quite a bit. I'm not huge on red, and I absolutely loathe black. Do not like black.
Toby loves black and blue. Right? Am I wrong? I thought you were poison and death.
Oh yeah, I only have one modern deck, but that's like a infect deck, so yeah, poison counters.
Ugh.
But I like green and white. I like tokens a lot, so
Green is really fun when you pull off like a huge growth combo in one round, and you pull out like yeah, this guy's got 30 attack now. I love just like boosting a big monkey.
Me too.
Oh yeah. I was really big. I started with green, and I would do the whole like a bunch of sapling tokens, and then like overrun and buff them super big and turn them sideways.
Overrun's very good.
Oh man, I'm so glad we're talking Magic. It's been so, I've been so out of the game for the past like 2 years, just with COVID and different stuff.
dude, since you're coming in the office sometime, we can play a little bit if you want.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm super down.
Basically, what I started doing, the strategy that I developed was to go blue white and figure out what they're trying to do, like what their win condition is, and then just like keep the right stuff on hand to just like as soon as they think they've got me and they pull their win condition, just like negate it. And it's
Yeah.
like now you have absolutely nothing, and then just like slowly kill them with like 3 damage every round after that, as they have like nothing to fight with anymore.
Right.
And Usually, I did most of this on Arena. Usually, I won most of my matches by them like rage quitting. Which is all.
Hey, Jimmy and the Magic Gang too. Awesome. Let's see. I started like I say started. What I mean is like brand new as a kid in original Ravnica. Which is a great place to start. I mean, Ravnica sets continue to be some of my favorites ever as I go back there. I really started playing like the local Friday Night Magic tournaments in Zendikar, and it was like Shards of Alara Zendikar standard. And I played Mono Black Vampires aggro, in which I had 8 of the fetch lands, which I bought them the fetch lands for $10 a piece at that time. Can you imagine?
Huh.
Now they're like Scalding Tarn's like was $80. I think they reprinted it recently. Like I said, I haven't been out of the game, but it used to be just like 120 or something for one Scalding Tarn. But that was fun. And it was fun. It was okay. So it was a mono black deck with the fetch lands because you played Vampire Nocturnus, which you reveal the top of your deck, and if it's a black card, all your other vampires get like flying, they get buffed, they get all this stuff. And so if it was a land, the only thing that wasn't a black card in your deck was a land card. So you literally just played the fetch land to shuffle your deck if a land was on top. I'm trying to think. And then, okay, so I got back, I went to college, kind of went out of it, but got back into it in college. And when I was playing Innistrad Ravnica Standard, this was the Burial Rites deck. So this is the first time I was using my graveyard as a resource and like recurring creatures out of the graveyard, right? Which I still love doing that.
I remember seeing one of your videos.
One of my videos?
Of you playing in that tournament? With the
Oh,
Dread
you know
deck?
what? There was one tournament. It was a modern tournament that was streamed at my local shop. So it was a video, and I was playing modern Death and Taxes. Like, before it was cool to play Death and Taxes in modern. Death and Taxes is this deck that's, like, all mono-white. It's, like, a bunch of puny creatures with, like, abilities that stack up their value. Like, nothing in the deck is overpowered, but basically it accumulates into stopping the opponent long enough to... So that's kind of fun to me of, like, you're basically playing subpar everything, but it hopefully accumulates into enough of a plan. Yeah, Hate Bears. But not the green version. I didn't have, like, they started doing the green-white version. I'm getting into some granular stuff, but I am going down memory lane here. But my one strategy, and again, I didn't play huge tournaments. I mostly played local. But we were all playing the green, white, black Burial Rites deck. This is when Craterhoof Behemoth first came out. You're playing Angel of Serenity, you're playing Thragtusk, things like that. And eventually, Voice of Resurgence came out.
Yeah, I like that one.
And so this is at the point when I was buying booster boxes to open for Standard, and instead I bought a playset of Voice of Resurgence because I thought it was so good. And as I was playing the Graveyard deck, I got so many reps in this deck. I said, I'm hard casting these creatures like as often as I'm recurring them from the grave. And this deck, this graveyard deck, was like the top deck, and no one could figure out how to beat it. And so I basically played the deck, but what I would do in the sideboard is I would take out all of the Unburial Rites, because I've noticed I'm a hard caster my creatures, and I would put in 4 Voice of Resurgence. So Voice of Resurgence is a creature, when it dies, it comes back, right? And it's cheap. It's really cheap, so it's aggressive, and it comes back. It's really annoying. And I played 2 or 4 Strangleroot Geist, which did the same thing.
Is that the green-white one?
It's green-white, and when it dies, you get a token, is what it was.
Okay, yeah.
You get a token. And Strangleroot Geist has Undying, and that comes back. So I basically turned it into like an aggro deck that I've still... can play my big creatures because I'm used to hard casting them anyway. And I beat... Well, and the other card to beat in the format was Supreme Verdict. It was either my deck or Supreme Verdict in the control decks, which the Undying and Voice of Resurgence doesn't care about Supreme Verdict very much, right? And I swept my local tournaments with that strategy. Oh, it made me feel so good. I would just sideboard into an aggro deck, basically, and it felt frickin' awesome. Yeah, Rest in Peace. I would sideboard Rest in Peace in my Burial Rites deck. That was my big play. Is I would sideboard out all of my graveyard stuff and sideboard in Rest in Peace and I'm playing the graveyard deck. Oh man, that was so fun. All right, I'm done. I digress.
I do want to mention I just got a new Magic deck the other day.
Oh.
And it is tiny.
Is
You know how
you say
buy
it's tiny?
online- Yeah, you know how you buy things online and the size is never actually like accurate. It's like this big.
Wait,
Have you ever seen
what?
a Hamster?
You bought a
Yeah.
Magic deck that I don't understand.
I just bought a mini Magic deck.
What?
I don't need that one.
Wait, do you?
Yeah.
It's in the Magic and Games channel on Slack.
Oh my god. Is Chalice of the Void that like XX that counter spells all the time? Oh my god, yes. This thing is nuts, man. I never like had a collection or funds to get into Legacy, but I did love watching the tournaments. Like here's the thing, I would just sit and watch the Star City like tournaments every single weekend that they played. I would just love watching Magic. Legacy Eldrazi. I remember because I started my F&M career in Zendikar, and I opened in my prize pack Emrakul the Aeon's Torn. And that was freaking cool. The original Emrakul. And it had kind of like the full art under the text. Oh, it was so sweet. Soft spot for red. I've played a fair amount of red burn. What is the goblin that when it attacks, it's like a 2/2 haste for 1, but like if they reveal land from the top, they can put it in a play or something. Or if they have a land in their hand, they can put it in a play or something. Goblin Guide. I got those for $5 a piece at my local shop, and then those skyrocketed too.
Is that like the elf that you can use in the green pack?
No, Goblin Guide is an old Zendikar goblin that gives your opponent lands, but is super fast and aggressive.
Gives your opponent land?
Well, right. So it's a drawback, but you're already so far ahead if you're like have a 2/2 on turn 1 as haste. Yeah, MTG memories are the best memories. I'm having such a great time just like... I played Red too because when Modern came out, this is like the Splinter Twin era. Birthing Pod just got banned. I played Blue, White, Red Control. So I played Red for like the Lightning Bolts, the Lightning Helix, and you just like I would just like you would just like stall the board and win with Celestial Colonnade, which is a land that you can turn into a creature. You just like drain them of all their resources and then just attack with your land. And it plays Snapcaster Mage. Speaking of Innistrad, Snapcaster Mage is such a cool card. It's a 2/1 flash, so you can play it as an instant. And then when it enters, you can play a spell from your graveyard as if it had flashback from the graveyard. So imagine you play Lightning Bolt for 1 red, and then you Snapcaster Mage for 2, and then you can Lightning Bolt again. So you can kill a 6 toughness thing. You can hit them in the face for 6. It's like stuff like that. Or like when you're brainstorming, I mean, talk about Legacy, right? You don't play as many Snapcasters nowadays. I know the deck lists have changed, but, you know, you're like multiple brainstorming and stuff, like crazy things like that.
I'm not good at making decks at all. Except for like Niner and stuff like that. Or not good at it, just like I like it more, but I can't wrap my head around like making modern or standard deck. So it's kind of stopped.
Well, it's tough because, like I said, it's a different game, and that's because there's always a meta game, right? Like there's always a handful of decks that like are playing against each other, so it is hard to brew sometimes. But what you're really good at in the other realms is coming up with like the wackiest stuff and getting it to work. And I think that's like you seem to enjoy that. So in your world, you are like the master of that. Just the wackiest stuff and getting it to come together in a perfect combo. And you did well in draft too. The reason I like draft is everyone's on an even playing field, you know? Like
Yeah.
no one is building their crazy net decks and stuff. You're just all in the same.
I used to not understand. I'm still not that good, but
Well, like you say, you started the past couple years, and we've been playing on and off. I played for decades, and my win percentage was not good. Like, it's such a complex game, which is what makes it so interesting. But to get good at it, like, it's a grind, man.
I like the most when, like, yeah, able to just keep like changing the deck as like I know what's like wrong. Like the modern deck I have, it's a Simic Infect, but it started as a red black Wither Infect. Like,
Wither,
it went
nice.
for situations. It just didn't work. Wither and Infect.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Drafted
Now it's
Lorwyn
like more
block.
towards.
Now it's what?
Uh, now it's. I looked it up. I compared it to some meta lists. So I based
Yeah.
on that a little bit, but yeah, I realized eventually I need to actually look at that.
Right. Dude, I'm jealous you got to draft lore when there's so much cool stuff in there. And, like, when they reprinted Thoughtseize and Theros, the art is so much better in Lorwyn. I was heartbroken. Like, it lowered the price of Thoughtseize, but God, the art is so good on the... And what's the enchantment that spawns a bunch of fairies and pings you for one?
Bitter Blossom?
Better, yeah. Yeah. And that came out of there. That was cool. The fairy deck. Constructed sucked with fairies? Okay, I guess it's an interesting theory, but maybe the format, it wasn't a healthy format. Snapcaster, Lightning Bolt, Sphinx's Revelation control deck, that is what I grew into eventually, and I loved those decks. Just playing a bunch of spells, Snapcasters, and a massive Sphinx's Revelation. Fairies or white tokens, yeah, yuck. I mean, like I said, I haven't been playing or paying much attention the past couple years. I don't know how Standard's doing. I did notice, because they were banning so many things in Standard, which was kind of unheard of. It's like they're just going too crazy with their cards with Oko and stuff, I guess. But
I mean, when I heard like 10 or 12 cards were banned.
that's wild. I saw someone talking about Saheeli Cat combo. That got banned from Standard. That was wild. But Snaps
Yeah.
and the Saheeli combo, that sounds cool. Hi, Rabbit. Thanks for stopping in. No Mercy said, just arrived. Wait, we're not talking about food?
We already did that.
Yeah, we
We did
did.
that early.
We got the food out of the way early this time.
All right, I know I said I digress earlier. I'm going to stop rambling.
It's fun talking about Magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, honestly, I enjoy hearing people with more history with it talking about it.
Okay, last thing. This past holiday, I visited my buddy before his deployment in North Carolina. I went into a local shop, and I couldn't resist spending a cat buttload of money on these items. Because they had a bunch of playmats signed by John Avon, an iconic
Yeah,
Magic
I showed the
artist.
picture.
And so I said, if they have all of these, this art cycle, I'm going to buy all 5 of them. And so then they did. It were the 5 unhinged lands. The full art lands. Or unhinged, not the ones with the little circle symbol. What's the other one? Not unstable, that's the new one. Unhinged and unglued? Yeah, so it's unhinged lands. And I have all 5 of the playmats with like a little certificate and signed by John Avon. And I want to find a place to hang on my wall. I probably won't do that till I move, honestly, but I have them and I love them.
You moving again?
Yeah, I'm moving at the end of June.
Uh,
Hopefully closer to work, man. I want to go to Brooklyn.
Yeah, being that far from work is kind of rough.
Yeah, it sucks.
Ugh, yeah, I can't deal with it. Ugh,
Stop it, you 5-minute walk.
it's amazing.
It's funny because the first place I ever lived in New York is literally right around the block from the office, but the office wasn't there then. But just imagine, 10:30 meeting. I'm up at 10:25.
Yep, it's pretty nice. And in normal times, as long as you shower on Sunday, you don't have to worry about showering on Monday during the meetings. You can just you can go there.
Right. Obviously,
Yeah.
I traded my John Avon foil lands for a Mox Pearl. That's insane. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like all these. I remember being in the shop with sets like that in the store, but I just like I was young and new to the game. I didn't know like what was going on. I wish I had like bought, of course, hindsight 2020, right? I wish I bought so many more of those boxes of Unhinged and all that. That my first F&M, again, I'm a kid here, right? I pay my $5 for a tournament. And I have the best strategy ever. You guys ready for this?
Yep, meeting.
I'm gonna. So the games are best 2 out of 3. Matches are best 2 out of 3 games, right? So
Yes.
I'm gonna play the first game. If I lose, I'm gonna switch decks. I brought 2 decks, and I said, perfect. If one sucks and loses, I'll just switch decks, which is not allowed. and like the guy's playing with me, he's like, "Did you switch decks?" And I'm like, "Yeah. What's the problem?" And he's like, "Okay, Judge."
You gotta learn magic, like magic tricks. Like,
Right.
is this your card? But like, you can switch decks without people noticing.
Yeah.
I think that's still is this your card trick? You know.
But is this my card legally?
I don't know if it's. I don't know if tricking them into not realizing you switch your decks is like a. I don't know if it's a magic trick so much as like a Mandela effect.
it'd be more impressive to do Magic Church to switch the format without them realizing.
Right. Oh man. Must have been fun. I guess I've been rambling so long we're already past 8 o'clock, but God, that was fun. Glad that was fun to talk about that, man. I haven't. Here I go. I'm gonna get obsessed now. All my impulse purchases will move from miniatures to Magic cards. Can't wait.
Hey, we finally got you to stop buying minis, and
Right.
it's instantly replaced.
Right. So, what do we got going on the old stream?
Next week, just on the anvil and hobby hang again.
Awesome.
Well, there's special streams. The real big thing we got going on is if you if you weren't aware of or forgot about, we're doing a fundraiser for AAPI Women Lead, which is a charity
Ooh.
that helps women who identify as Asian Pacific Islander to overcome the obstacles in their way and the various prejudices that they face in their day-to-day lives. That fundraiser closes on Sunday. For every $50 that you donate, you have a chance to be rewarded with in a legally not a raffle. You have a chance to be rewarded with a private game for you and your friends, DM'd by Stefan Picorni with Satine Phoenix in it, as well as the chance to win a $1,500 Dwarven Forge gift card.
Holy smokes.
Yeah. So that's going through Sunday. Every $50 you donate gets you another entry in that not raffle, and yeah.
Awesome.
So
It's a charity with a random prize.
Yeah.
Prize? Maybe legally not prize.
We just have this extra gift card and game lying around. We're trying to figure out what to do. with it.
Lying around. We have a Stefan and a Satine just lying around.
Just lying around. Collecting dust.
Right. Cool. Well, look out for that. Thank you for joining us. It's so fun chatting with the Hobby Hand crew and with chat. I always look forward to this, so thanks for being here. And take care, everybody.